Yes, transfer window discussion. Yes, there's not much to talk about, but we are all very pissed off. Let's go. Salam sejahtera and welcome to JomUnited. We are a Malaysian Manchester United fan channel. Yes, dengan bangganya Buatan Malaysia. Not so bangga as a United fan now, being a United fan now due to the transfer window. Okay, so as many of us know right now, the transfer window is open for I think for like what 5 days and whatnot. Okay, and although some of the United correspondent saying that we fans are getting anxious and whatnot, we should chill, we should relax because there's a lot of time. Okay, so we are going to talk about this, our progress so far, our activity so far in the transfer window. Okay, before we jump into the United related stuff, right? Okay, let's just talk a bit about our rivals, all right? What they have actually done so far. All right, let's talk about Liverpool. All right, they managed to sign Darwin Núñez, okay, who happens to be one of our targets, also our initial targets. Okay, but somehow I think the price tag is a bit too heavy for us. So I think it's fair that we actually give this player to Liverpool. Not a problem. All right. And then, okay, let's talk about Manchester City signing Erling Haaland. All right. So I think that's probably a good signing for them because for a team like them, without having a proper number 9, I think this is a perfect signing for them. Okay. So I think they will be one of the top teams in the next coming season. All right. The one, right, that is like, I mean, set my level of anxiety and me getting pissed off to the maximum is Spurs. All right, Spurs. I think yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think they are in the process of finalizing the deal with Bissouma. I think worth 25 million or is it 30 million, around that ballpark. All right. So this is one of the players that we United fans, all right, the true United fans who actually watch football, all right, we were shouting, we were talking, we were discussing about him since I think like even last season, even when we were like hunting for Sancho and whatnot, we were actually talking about players like Bissouma and whatnot. And long and behold, Spurs made the right step in how to say completing to fortifying their midfield and whatnot. All right. So let's move on to United related stuff. Okay. So maybe let's start with Said. What's your take on our current activity, our transfer activity as a United fan?
I think a lot of fans they're already quite frustrated because we are not signing anybody, and Liverpool got a player, City got a player. But we need to understand that today is the fourth day of the transfer window open. So let them do their work. I think it's just like first week when the transfer window is open. Uh, we already like have a verbal agreement with Frankie De Jong. According to a lot of reports from Holland as well and from other tier one resources, it's just like Barcelona. They are asking too much money, and United this time they don't want to be ransom in front of Barcelona. So they know there's a financial crisis at the club, at Barcelona, for example, and they don't want to just pay whatever they're asking. They know the price is going to low down, so they're just waiting for the right time, and then they will give them the right offer. But I think the first bid is already rejected, which was I think around 50 or 60
60 plus 10, 60 plus 10 mil. Yeah.
they're asking like 80 million. So I think they are United are playing smart. They are not like if they're asking 80 million, they don't want to give right away the 80 million asking price. They know they are in trouble. They are desperate. They want to let go the big players, including Frenkie De Jong. So they are playing smart. I mean, I just want to be positive here that it's only fourth day or fifth day of the transfer window, and we are playing smart. We don't want to pay like any money, whatever they're asking. So I
But
think
Syed, sorry, I gotta cut you off there. I mean, playing smart verbal agreements. We are like close to signing. What some
yeah, the link.
pre-agreement sign? What? Don't you think that this is like deja vu? It's like it's happening all over again. Doesn't this remind you of 2 years ago? Something happened with a guy called Jadon Sancho. The same thing. There's this like 90%, 95% club going on and whatnot. And then at the very, very end, what happened? We went and get two more players, Ahmad and Pelistri, which we sent out on loan. Aren't you like skeptical? I mean, shouldn't we feel skeptical at this moment?
It's just the fourth day since the transfer window is open. So I'm still keeping positive for now. I would say the same thing as you are saying, maybe at the end of the month or maybe at the end of July. But I think we should grab at least one or two players which we really want to be in a starting eleven, because I think less than 1 month we are already starting our preseason in Bangkok, which is on 12th of July. So I think less than 1 month now. I think the priority, which seems like Frankie De Jong for Eric Ten Hag, he should get his player before the preseason so that player is plays from the day one of the preseason training and camp. so that we can get the best from him.
Okay, Roger, my question to you. All right. Apparently, Erik Ten Hag mentioned that we shouldn't be too vocal about who we want to go and sign. We should be more private and we should do it discreetly and whatnot. Do you think, okay, based on what Syed mentioned, giving basically he's giving United a benefit of a doubt. Do you think that actually there's something going on in the background and they are using this Frankie De Jong or whatever as a smoke screen? And then maybe by the end of the day, we'll be signing like 6 good players and whatnot. What do you think?
Smoke screen. Wow. I don't think that we are that savvy. Actually, I think we are full of incompetent incompetent people. I think for the transfer activity in general, I think we gotta look at both sides. On one hand, we don't have Champions League. We have a broken changing room. We have really stupid owners who care more about the stock market and their dividends. We have been run as a business. We are most probably not able to hit the ground running because we have a brand new manager and half the team has left. And on the other hand, we've also got, like I said, incompetent people handling all the negotiations. Personally, I have no idea how experienced John Murtagh and Darren Fletcher is in terms of talking to other clubs, discussing with other players. And when it comes down to it, it's probably a mix of all these reasons, and which is incompetence. And it comes from the incompetence of our previous people in charge, Ed Woodward, Matt Judge, and now we've got these inexperienced people who probably care about a lot about the club, like us, but who are just not at the top of their respective fields.
Okay, Jai, so apa pendapat you tentang aktiviti kita setakat ini? So, biasa selalu kita, okay, minta maaf, kita ketawa dengan pendapat you. Tapi sekarang, saya #trust in Jai. Okay, so apa pendapat you?
Okay lah, actually mungkin ini adalah satu konspirasi 2.0 maybe.
Ini dah 3.0 ni.
3.0. Tak, sekarang ni kalau kita nak tengok pada kelab kita sendiri, memang kelab kita tak ada placing untuk Champions League next year. So untuk tarik big player masuk ke United mungkin agak sukar. Tetapi kita kena trust dengan new regime. Apa maksud dia, regime yang baru. Erik Ten Hag dengan Montagan apa tu semua tu kan, yang tengah develop baru ni. So memang kita nampak rasa slow. Mungkin ada mungkin diorang perasan sebelum ni agak merugikan ambil player yang berjuta-juta macam Paul Pogba before, tak ada hasil apa semua kan. So jadi mungkin diorang ada guna satu pendekatan yang lain, yang baru. So agak slow dan kita kena bagi masa sedikit untuk mereka mungkin nak membetulkan keadaan. Sebab kita kena tahu Erik Ten Hag nak player yang suit dengan dia punya prinsip. Tetapi sorry to say lah, yang macam contoh player-player yang disebut-sebutkan sekarang ni kemungkinan adalah daripada fan favourite yang menggembar-gemburkan player-player macam Frankie De Jong, Anthony, sebab mungkin daripada Ajax kan. So itu semua antara rumours sahaja. So untuk saya, kita bagi masa untuk mereka perbaiki dan cari player, even lambat pun tak apa, asalkan suit dengan apa yang Erik Ten Hag nak. Tak nak nanti macam Ralf Rangnick, tengok dekat Austria tim dia bagus sebab player dia mengikut arahan Ralf Rangnick. So kita nak player yang macam Erik Ten Hag nak lah. Biar lambat asalkan selamat.
Okay, Syed, my question to you, why, I mean, from what Jai is mentioning, we should all learn and use a different approach. That means we learn from our mistakes with our past transfer windows and whatnot. But do you think, right, that there's this issue with United that we can only do one transfer at a time, whether it's moving players out or buying players? Okay, obviously there's a lot of players leaving, but that is due to the, their contract expiring and they are moving on as free agents and whatnot. So, in this case, right, why can't we learn from our mistake and we can do multiple, transfers at one time?
Because we are Manchester United, we are not a top club anymore. I mean, we have to swallow it, and we have to face the reality. We are not the top club anymore. It's not about like I think the colleagues are here are saying like the club, the board, the management, they are incompetent, which I totally agree. At the same time, we are not attractive anymore. We are not the club like before, where every player wants to play for us. Now I think only player who is already like a United fan since his teenager wants to come to United. But like to be honest, for example, if you're a professional player, you are in Europe. Why you want to play for Manchester United, who finished sixth last season? Even though you have the greatest goal scorer of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo in your team, it's not a big pull. Players these days they want Champions League football, they want trophy, they want attractive football. Like past 4 or 5 years with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and before that Jose Mourinho as well. So we are keep changing on managers. So the players they don't want to come to a club where they are going through an experimental stage, right? So they want to go to a club. They are already successful. They have a philosophy. They have a style of play where they will just go and enjoy and win some trophies and cups and get all the fame which every teenager wants to have, right? So I think this is also one of the factors. We are not that attractive anymore. So we just have to wait and see what are the targets we can get. But believing in Eric Ten Hag, I think his first priority is is Frankie De Jong. So I think this would be a certain first signing for United. And you are 100% right. They should go for all the targets that they are looking for. They should go for Timber. For example, in the beginning of the month or end of last month, we were listening about Timber. Then we had some rumors about Anthony. And then both of the rumors, they are all fade away. Now we are talking about Frankie De Jong. And now slowly this is also getting fade away. Now we have been linked with other players. We were getting news about Neves from Wolves, another Portuguese player who was linked with us, and now I think that rumor also gone into 2 or 3 days. And also, it's a big thing which all the media and the British press, for example, they just want to link all the players with United, no matter they are really linked with it or not. Because personally, I think Darwin, we were not into him. If we were into him, I think we would have gone for him. But I think Eric Ten Hag, or for example, like these kind of managers, they don't want like typical number nine. They want like inverted, the wingers like Martial, Rashford, or Greenwood we saw before. So they want these players who can score goals and who can also create goals as well. So I think there are a lot of rumors also going on. We are all frustrated. We wanna have like at least first signing of the season, so that we can start look forward for the season again.
Okay, we got a comment here by Brian Lee. Okay, just now initially we mentioned about a price tag of Darwin Nunez, 100 million. But I think apparently it's only like 65 or 70 million right now. Once they sign him, they actually expose the amount. So, but anyway, price tag heavy. Frankie De Jong, mahal gila. Also, we are going for him. Okay, so which puts me to the next question. All right, Roger. So again, our strategy, right? As before, I think 2 years back, very recent time now, right? 2 years back when we were trying to go for Jadon Sancho, we also used a similar approach whereby we try to settle that deal with Jadon Sancho, and whatever money we have left, then only we proceed with other players, which is quite the same as right now, because the main priority, like based on all the news, the United correspondents they are saying that we want to get Frankie De Jong first, and whatever balance we have, then we will allocate to the other positions that we actually need. So do you think this is a wise step or an approach that we are doing now?
I think the Frankie De Jong transfer is very interesting because there are so many conflicting reports. But I think that this story has stayed because it is somewhat true. I think Erik Ten Hag really wants De Jong in the team because it's his player. I think he can see that De Jong would fit into how he wants this United team to play, and moving forward, he will be probably the player that he builds the team around. What I would say would be, if that this player is that diamond that Erik Ten Hag wants, then we should support the manager, because I think all of us, when Eric was appointed, we decided that we should stand by the manager this time. We shouldn't question this. I mean, he has built teams. He has built 2 Ajax teams in the last few years, and I think we can trust him. We should trust him. But obviously, with that limited amount, how we can grow it is through sales. And yeah, hopefully we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's the thing, that okay, if like we talk about the numbers, right? All right, so we are talking about Frankie De Jong, of probably will go somewhere in a sweet spot of like 75, 80 million. I believe both parties will probably agree the amount around that area, that ballpark. Okay, so with that, right, we probably have around like what 50 million left around there, without selling any players. Right. So how are we going to find, how are we going to allocate that money to the other spots and whatnot? Players that when you mentioned selling players, which players do you think that we can actually sell at this very moment and which will actually get us money? Henderson, that one is it's going on right now, 20 mil, but then it's what, loan with an option to buy or something, right? So that means probably we wouldn't get that. We wouldn't get the cash at this moment, if I'm not mistaken, because I think it just came out only. So which other players do you think that we can actually sell?
Martial.
Martial.
No. That one will be a cheat code. We'll get 200 million already, So
Nobody wants to buy Martial.
Exactly.
My
But yeah, realistic. Yeah, no one. Yeah, like what Sai mentioned, I don't think anyone would actually buy Martial even at a cheaper price and whatnot. No one is going to pay that 250,000 a week kind of wages for this. I mean, based on his performance in the last year, in the last season and whatnot. So maybe Roger, you can just add on. I'm going to grill you a bit here. Which players can we actually sell?
Eric Bailly, I think two clubs seem to be interested today. Axel Tuanzebe. Who else?
How much funds can we generate? Okay, if for example, if we give that, we sell them away for like 5 million, obviously people is going to buy, right? It's cheap, right? But realistically, how much money can we actually get from people like Eric Bailly and Tuanzebe? How much money do you think we can actually generate from that?
I would take 15 million for each of them.
15 million. I think that's quite realistic,
yeah.
That's
realistic. And I think Newcastle will snap our hands off for Anthony Martial for 20 million. That's you already generated 50 million there. 50 million. Add on to the 50 million that we have will be 100 million.
20 million for Martial, no lah. Come on lah. At least 45, 50. We need to maintain a bit of integrity, man. I'm Martial's number one fan. Just to let you know lah. Okay. So, Jai. Apa pendapat you tentang ini? Kerana you master tentang pengiraan costing semua, you pandai benda ni kan. So, apa pendapat you? Bruno.
No, actually macam I dah cakap sebelum ni, kita boleh jual Bruno lah. Sebab sekarang ni high price yang harga paling tinggi yang baru sign kontrak Bruno lah. The key player United. Tapi kalau Erik ten Hag perlukan Bruno, kenapa dia perlu ambil FDJ? Kenapa? So, kalau katakan kalau dia beli FDJ, maybe kita boleh tengok Januari, mungkin kita boleh jual Bruno. Kalau tak boleh jual sekarang. Tapi problem kita sekarang, kenapa kita kena waste money berpuluh juta, 80 juta, 65 juta dekat base untuk dapatkan FDJ, sedangkan kita ada Bruno, ada Van de Beek. Kenapa kita perlu cari FDJ? That's why I cakap tadi. First tadi ada cakap. Sekarang ni fan punya choice ke ataupun Erik ten Hag punya choice? Yang rumours sekarang ni. Siapa yang buat rumours macam ni? Kena fikir kat situ. Sebab Erik ten Hag dia kena cari player yang betul-betul suit dengan dia. Tetapi sekarang dekat dalam United yang keluar Pogba, Matic yang position yang paling Mata, Pogba. Position yang paling teruk sekarang dekat United ialah CDM.
Yes, correct.
Berbalik pada kisah-kisah lampau. Kan? Why FDJ? That's why sekarang rumours yang ada dekat dalam news sekarang ni, antara fan punya rumours, favorite fan ke, ataupun news berita punya rumours ke, ataupun Erik ten Hag sendiri.
Okay, Syed, based on what Jai mentioned, very, very good point. That we've been crying for a CDM, and then suddenly we are linked to FDJ. Then we are like, Erik ten Hag style, he don't really require a proper CDM, a sole CDM to hold the defense. He wants a double pivot and whatnot. So, what do you think? Okay, with Frankie De Jong, do you think he's actually a player that we actually need at this moment?
I think we need, because because for example, like Pogba has gone. I'm not saying like Pogba had a very successful time at Manchester United. He was at the end. We can safely say it was a failure for him to come back to United. But still, it's a big gap which he's leaving at the club, because after Pogba, we only left with McFred, who is never a first choice for anyone. And I'm sure like Erik Ten Hag, he already identified some gaps between McFred, and that's why he needs somebody who can dictate the play, who can pick the ball from the defender, and also can pass to the forward. So I think he can play a good role in the center of the field, where he will be picking all the balls from keeper, from right back, from left back, and then progressing the ball forward by playing some through balls and into the final third as well. But I think we do need a CDM as well. If not a CDM, then again another midfield who can play along with Frankie De Jong, who can do the dirty work, who can go and win the ball. And I think Fred can do this job. For example, if we have lack of funds, or if there is no CDM available. I mean, if you remember, like since last season, I've been talking about Kamara and I've been talking about
It's gone
Chouameni.
already. Kamara
Yeah,
is gone, and both
both
are gone.
both are gone already. And I think Neves, we all say like he's Premier League proven from Wolves. He would be a good signing, but again, Wolves is asking 80 million. So 80 million is like a huge price for us to pay for him. So I think we will get another midfield, or maybe we will rely on Fred to pair with Frankie De Jong, and then Fred can do all the dirty work, like just go and get the ball, and then Frankie De Jong would be responsible for playing the ball to the forwards and also to the wingers.
Okay, got a comment here by Brian Lee. CDM patutnya beli Bisuma. Totally agree with you on this. This is something that got away from us lah. Okay, AG. Eric got plan. FDJ his mastermind. Okay, so Roger, I mean, of course, we know FDJ's Frankie De Jong's ability as a player, a deep playing, ball carrying player that he can actually bring the ball up to the forwards and whatnot. But then, do you think that without having a CDM or a competent midfielder, another midfielder next to him, it will inhibit his ability? Actually, I mean, even our team in the last season, although it was a shambles, right, we can actually see that a lot of them, right, they are actually like their potential and whatnot is inhibited by, of course, due to the manager wasn't competent or whatnot, and also the players, they weren't really competent, especially in the defense and the midfield and whatnot. So do you think that even with signing with FDJ, but then we don't have a proper centre back pairing and also a CDM, right, this will make him into a flop like Pogba and whatnot? What do you think?
FDJ is, like Syed said, a player that receives the ball from the defense, carries it up. He's able to move like an 8. Pogba and Matic were very competent players. Matic did the dirty work, and
Yes.
Pogba was supposed to do the carrying. McTominay and Fred both are incompetent, and if one doesn't play the other, like Pogba partners with Fred, I think most of the time Fred has to cover for Pogba. I'm like saying that Fred is better than Pogba, but you know what I mean. Pogba is ill-disciplined. He leaves his position. Fred has to cover. The same with, I think, when players play with McTominay shies away. He hides. He doesn't stay along the lane. He hides behind the opposition player, and nobody can get the passes to him. And he's the one that's supposed to receive the ball from the back and bring it up. So I agree that Frankie does need someone competent. But if you would put a destroyer beside him, I still can't decide on Fred. Fred is totally out, but Fred himself, there's still a big question mark that even though he's not very young anymore, he's like the oldest player who you don't know whether he's hit his potential yet or not in that sense. So it would be interesting to see how Fred and Frankie partners up, but I would definitely go for another CDM. It's been too long. Yeah.
Okay, we got a comment here by Joshua. Jamie Garner can have played alongside FDJ. And then I think he's Nottingham Forest, they have been promoted to the Premier League as well. But I think there's a recent interview with him. He mentioned that he haven't really got in contact with Erik Ten Hag, so he's not really sure what is his future at this moment. So I think probably they will look at the market. If they couldn't really get anyone competent, probably they will recall him into United. So
I think season squad. We will get to know more about him, and also the manager will also see him in the preseason about James Garner.
Okay, Jai, dua lagi player yang kita heavily link, Anthony dan Timber. So of course, okay, there's two lah yang you cakap whether Erik ten Hag betul-betul nak or this as a fan favourite lah. So based on these rumours yang dua player ni, you rasa ini more to fan speculate ke atau memang manager dia kenal player ni in and out and dia rasa ada potential untuk player ni naikkan semula Manchester United?
Kalau kita tengok sekarang ni dekat United banyak yang dah keluar, Matic, Mata, Pogba. Tetapi macam kita sebut macam Timber dan Anthony, position yang kita rasa dekat United masih ada lagi ke tidak? Contoh macam Timber dia main defend kan. So still ada Lindelof, still ada Captain Marvel kita Maguire yang bagi free je tapi tak ada orang nak ambil. Then banyak sebelum defend sebelum kita nak Erik ten Hag nak ambil player tu, dia kena tahu dulu dia punya apa keperluan dekat dalam pasukan sekarang ni. Sebab kita tak tahu apa yang dia plan lah. Maksud dia punya plan lagi kan. Sebab yang kita nampak satu player pun dia tak ambil lagi, which is banyak kelab lain semua dah ambil player, tetapi kita masih belum ada lagi. So apakah keperluan ambil Anthony dengan Timber sedangkan dekat dalam pasukan kita ada position yang sama? Kecuali kalau dia nak reboot semua player, itu berkemungkinan ada player yang kena jual ke apa semua kan. Sebab sekarang ni dia tak sign dia tak sign kontrak macam Lingard semua, dia tak sign lagi. Dia tak ada jual lagi player. Masih belum ada lagi jual. So ini antara rumours dari fan sendirilah. I rasa macam tu lah, favourite fan lah. Itu yang pastilah sebab dia dekat Ajax. So mesti dah bawa player Ajax masuk sekali, mungkin lah macam tu kan. So ini antara fan punya favourite lah.
Okay, ada comment from Brian Lee. If Erik ten Hag only buy Frankie de Jong, will you guys still complain or stick to his process? Only one player. I mean, right now, right, I'm actually quite anxious lah. I'm thinking that this will drag on to the very, very end. And then if we so happen we sign him also, right, it's either we run out of budget, we don't have enough time to actually get rid of players, and then we end up buying random players. It's like panic buying again and again. So this is personally, for me, I'm worried about this lah. I'm worried about this. And if it's only Frankie de Jong, I will really, really question Erik ten Hag. Actually, maybe this is not really so much about Erik ten Hag. I think it's more about the board. And I'm just worried that this is another vicious cycle that he has to make do with whatever he got. He must make the best out of the players, motivate and coach the players and whatnot. And then another maybe 1-2 years gonna chop. Then there will be another manager again, and then we start the whole story all over again. So yeah, so if it's only one player, no man, this is scary stuff, right? So Syed, so maybe let's talk a bit about the free transfer. We are also linked with Christian Eriksen, right? So do you think that, because he's a free agent and whatnot, so we, obviously we don't have to spend so much money on that. Do you think that we should go all out and acquire this player?
I think we already made an offer to Brentford for him, and I think he's coming on free, so why not? I mean, if we are going to pay like 15 or 20 million for him, then I would say no, because it's not like he's old, but he's still 30-year-old. So I think we should go for younger player. But if he's coming for free, then why not? I mean, he could be a good squad player where he can play for FA Cup or maybe league matches, which are not that important. Or maybe like if we have matches like 3 games in a week, then I think he could be a better utility for the squad, where he can come in and chip in some goals and also some passing and assists as well. And I remember the match we had against Brentford at Old Trafford, and I think he was one of the best players on the pitch that night. So I think he still got it, even though he had a recovery from his medical condition. He's playing for his national team as well. I think we should all go for him. He could be a player who can be Jesse Lingard, or who could be Juan Mata, and we didn't see both of them in last season. So I think he can be that player who can be a good squad player and can be called upon and perform whenever the manager needs.
Okay,
I
then
think you start ahead of Bruno. Yeah. I think you start ahead of Bruno.
I'm not sure about it, but I think he can be a good player.
Do you think, right, that just a question, a random thought lah. I mean, in Erik Ten Hag's system, right, Bruno will maybe someone like Van der Beek or whoever will actually take the number 10 role from Bruno, and then Bruno maybe play on the right wing or something like. Do you think there's a possibility that will happen, Roger?
I think that Eric does not have a fixed system. He has shown through the past few seasons that he is flexible in that sense. I would say that he will try to fit Van der Beek into the team because it's a player that he trusts. And how Eric likes to play is that he likes possession. Bruno loses possession. As much as we love him, we have to be honest and say that as his numbers are great, but it's stat padding for fans who watch Bruno every single week. We can see he doesn't pass the eye test, and yeah.
Raises our blood pressure as well. He can be a drama queen. He's actually a drama queen lah.
Yeah, so frustrating.
Tambah sikit.
Stay off your feet.
Sila Jai.
So that mean Roger setuju dengan jual Bruno lah.
Sekarang semua orang setuju dengan you. Dalam hati semua orang trust Jai sekarang.
Oh ya ke?
Pandit tau.
Okay.
Pandit tau. But the thing is, but the funny thing is, I mean, the recent UEFA Nation League, the Portugal games that he played, he actually played quite decent, you know. I mean, the games that I watch him, the two fellas, I mean, the games I actually follow is Portugal and also Netherlands. I want to watch Frankie de Jong play and whatnot. So he's actually quite decent, you know. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it comes down to the Ralf Rangnick, how to say, association as the interim manager or whatnot. I don't know. Okay, we were supposed to get your take on this one. So, all right, I'm going to give you a bit of time here, Roger. Ralf Rangnick's involvement on how the team actually performed, I mean, towards the end of last season. All right, I'll give you a few minutes. All right, go ahead. What do you think?
Ralf Rangnick. Give me a second.
Come on, man. This is something that day you told me that, oh, I got a lot to say about Ralf Rangnick. Okay, this is your time. This is your time, man.
I wrote it down.
No, it's from the heart. It's from the heart. It's from the heart.
Okay. From the heart. I can't find it. Anyway. Personally, I think that Ralf has been one of the best things that has happened to us post Alex Ferguson. He has been the one person who has been honest with us. He's told us every single piece of shit that's happening behind the scenes. And it's some people will say that he's hiding. He's just like protecting himself, right? I think this is the phrase that people come up with. He's protecting himself. He's protecting his own reputation. There's no reputation for him to take care of because he's only there for 6 months. He was only manager there for 6 months. This guy. Wait. There's a lot of things on Ralf Rangnick.
Okay, I'll make it easier for you. I'll just ask you this question. All right, assuming that Ralf Rangnick wasn't fired or mutually parted ways or whatever, right? Do you think that the transfer window now would have been different? This is my question because Brian Lee actually mentioned, why is Ralf in the conversation? Okay, the question is this because I want to ask your opinion. If he's still around, do you think that maybe players like Nkunku or whatnot, okay, because he's linked with RB Leipzig and whatnot, right? So do you think that having Ralf Rangnick around would be an upper hand for us to actually get players in? Like you guys mentioned right now, United's drawing power to get big players in, it's hard now because due to where we finished last season and whatnot. But having a figure like Ralf Rangnick, would it have made our process of signing players easier right now?
In my opinion, like what I said earlier, we need people at the top of their respective fields. Darren Fletcher and John Mutta are not. They have come in and they have replaced Ed Woodward, Matt Judge, and whoever has left. And in my opinion, Ralf Rangnick is better than both of them. Ralf Rangnick should be the director of football at United. Because there's no one better now.
So in a way, you're saying that probably right now, with 5 days into the transfer window and one open transfer window, we would actually see better progress than what we are experiencing at this moment if Ralf Rangnick was still around.
I think that Ralf Rangnick has a little black book at his back pocket where he can call he has contacts around Europe, all around Europe, where he can just pick up the phone and call them and say, let's talk about your player, give me a good price. I don't think that Darren Fletcher has contacts in Spain, in Italy, in Austria, anywhere. Yeah, probably.
We got a comment here, Bradley. If Ralph can bring in Nkuku, Eric Ten Hag can bring in your Kuku. Bradley is our how to say resident live chat audience, like cool guy, very cool guy.
I think not forward when Ralf Rangnick joined the club in November. I think the first transfer window was January, and then he proposed Kamara. That time I think he was free. He was available for free, but the club didn't listen to him. And then recently there was a news from Simon Stone, a famous journalist. He also reported that Ralf Rangnick also proposed Tchouaméni to Manchester United, but again the club didn't go for him. So I think he
Zakaria as well.
Yeah. So he identified already the CDM, and these are the 3 top CDM which you already missed.
So Jai, so moving forward, you rasa daripada you cakap kita kena sabar and whatnot. So in the coming few days, based on you being an expert, and you talking about black book, right, Roger, right? Jai has a big dictionary of contacts as well, you see. He's very closely linked with a lot of agents and stuff. He's sharing a lot of all the insider transfers in our WhatsApp group. So Jai, so dalam beberapa hari ini, so based on sources dengan rumors you, apa you rasa akan berlaku dalam beberapa hari ini?
No, actually semalam saya baru minum teh dengan Fabio Romano. No, actually kalau kita nak ceritakan daripada traditional kita punya tradisi kita United punya tradisi, kebanyakan memang kita tak boleh percaya selagi dia tak pakai baju ke ataupun dia tak ambil gambar ke kan. Sebab kita akan dapat setiap news tu, even sampai satu player yang I pun tak pernah dengar Sakna apa benda dah kan, macam semalam masih ada dekat dalam United punya transfer list. Tetapi bila kita dengar balik, Erik Ten Hag pernah cakap diorang punya pasaran secara rahsia. Diorang membuat kerja secara secret lah. So jadi berkemungkinan 2-3 minggu, mungkin dalam 2-3 hari ni memang kita tak akan dapat apa-apa news yang sama ada beli ataupun jual ke. Selagi maybe berkemungkinan sampai friendly match Liverpool dan Manchester United di Bangkok pun berkemungkinan kita tidak ada player baru bermain dekat situ.
Okay, so
ini source saya lah.
Okay, so Syed, from where we are now, of course, it's still early in the transfer window. So how many players do you expect that we bring in this transfer window?
I think at least 4. We should get at least 4 players to at least have some hope of finishing, not winning the league, not winning the Champions League, but I think at least finishing top 3 and also going as much possible as we can in Champions League. I think we need 4 players. Frankie de Jong would be one, another midfield, and I think one right back, one striker as well. And the right back we're talking about, I think a right back who can also play as a centre back and also as a right back. And I think we should.
Timber can do it. Apparently, Timber can actually do it.
And I think there was another news today, which was there's a club, I forgot the name. They inquired about Dalot, and Manchester United, they already refused. They said, okay, if you want to have a right back, you can have Wan-Bissaka, but not Dalot. So they are routing the player. They are saying, okay, Dalot, you're asking for Dalot. He's not for sale, but you can have a look at Wan-Bissaka.
You can have the better right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. All his fancy tackles and whatnot.
But again, like we bought I think 40 or 50 million for Wan-Bissaka, and I don't think we can get 30 million for him. So I think we already made some huge mistakes, and we paid overpriced for all the players which we should not, and now we have to suffer, and the balance would be negative.
Okay, so got comment by AG, 5 at least. We need 5 signings at least. Okay, so the
Maybe one
the
more
last
keeper.
question. Yeah, sorry.
I forgot to add one keeper, so maybe 5.
Keeper as well. To replace Anderson lah, because Anderson is going to Nottingham Forest or something like that lah. Even Tom Heaton also apparently there's a team. I think someone wants Tom Heaton, right? Middlesbrough, yeah, Middlesbrough. Okay, so the last question of the night. Okay, Roger. So, you actually went and do some scouting work for us in Barcelona, right? To speak to Frankie De Jong and whatnot, right? So give us fans lah, the United fans, a bit of a relief or a prediction or something like that. When do you think that this Frankie De Jong signing will happen? How fast it will happen, and then moving forward and whatnot. Are you positive that this time around, this transfer window is going to be different than the last shit show in the last 3 years?
Okay, I gotta clarify what coach said, because while I was at Barcelona, I do not have any sources. Yeah. So yeah. I think if I remember correctly, Fabrizio has stated that this week is gonna be very crucial in terms of what happens with Frankie. If we do not get him by the end of this week, we are getting someone else. So I hope that this transfer saga is about to end.
In a positive way or whatnot? Positive way. Come on, you gotta close the ends, you know. Yourself. Do you think that you're gonna sign him?
I think we'll get him because Barcelona is desperate. No matter how they may act like they are not in deep shit, they are in full on deep shit. So they will let the player go. Yes.
Okay, we got a comment by Mod. Or sign back Pogba lah. Okay, guys, we are at the end of our show, right? Thanks so much for joining us on our live. Hopefully, by the next time we go live, right, we will have like probably 2 or 3 more signings, all right? Because right now I'm very anxious. I'm losing sleep. My hair is turning white and whatnot, so it's not a good thing for all of us, all right? So, like usual, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next episode when we sign Frankie De Jong. This week, Roger?
Sell Bruno.
This week, Roger? All right, this week, all right. All right. Good night, guys.